All right. Welcome to another lecture in data visualization and dashboarding. In this lecture, we're going to learn how to make your first dashboarding. I'm going to make two examples that's going to be easier. Let me tell you that most of the projects in data science, you have to make a dashboarding showing some interactions in your project, showing a different type of graphs, and it should be linked, like it should be kind of layout or kind of website, so you're just gonna share it with your coworkers, or like going to make a presentation or something like that. So part of being a data scientist is making a dashboard. And how we're gonna do that? We're gonna do that today in Python, and later we're gonna do it in Tableau. Okay. Now, there is a library called Dash, which is part of a Canadian company called Plotly. It's gonna allow us to make like a simple dashboarding. Okay, I'm gonna walk you through the plan of our presentation, and basically it's going to be an introduction first. Then we're gonna talk a little bit about what's Dash, how to build a Dash application, get started with Dash in Python, initializing your Dash application, and defining the layout of your Dash application. Okay. Um, all right. So, in the past, creating analytical web application was a task for seasoned developer that requires knowledge of multiple programming language and frameworks. That's no longer the case. Nowadays, you can make a data visualization interfaces using pure Python. One popular tool for this is Dash. Okay, and it's easy to install. I'm gonna walk you through how to install that using your notebook Jupyter. But as you can see in the picture, this is a dashboard that has like a pie chart, like a line chart, timing, maybe dates, etc., etc. Okay. So Dash allow us to do that is a mixture about how to make a website, programming language, and so many web applications. Okay. Now, Dash gives data scientists the ability to showcase their results in interactive web applications. You don't need to be expert in web development. In after in an afternoon, you can build and deploy your Dash app to share with others. Just like I said, the intention that you're gonna share your project, make a Dash app, etc., etc. Now, talking about web development, you might have a question. Are we going to use HTML? Are we going to use only Python? Well, the answer is a mixture of everything. Okay? So, the question is, what's a Dash? Okay, Dash is an open source framework for built-in data visualization interfaces released in 2017 as a Python library. Dash helps data scientists build analytical web applications without requiring advanced web development knowledge. Three technologies constitute the core of Dash. The Flask supplies the web server functionality. The React.JavaScript or JS renders the user interface of the web page, and Plotly generates the charts used in your application. Oh, basically, it's divided into, let me say, a web server, the user interface, just like a drop down or slider, and then Plotly, of course, because we're gonna make charts and graphs, so we need something that's gonna allow us to make graphs. But don't worry, you don't have to worry about making all these technologies work together. Dash will do that for you. You just need to write Python, R, Julian, F hashtag, and sprinkle a bit of CSS. If you don't have any of Like if you don't have any information about CSS is a tool that gonna allow you to, let me say, decorate your web page, like changing the text, changing the color, etc., etc. Okay. Um, and of course, already you got the prerequisite Python, and you don't have to worry about the other websites or the other language programming, because it's just a syntax that we're gonna do it and redo it, and hence you're gonna remember it. Okay. Um, all right. So Dash will help you build dashboards quickly if you're used to analyzing data or building data visualization using Python. Then Dash will be useful addition to your toolbox. Here are a few examples of what you can make with Dash. With Dash showing object detection of self-driving cars. So if you made that, all the time we got data about the persons who used to self-driving cars, and then while it's done you can see that, okay, a visualization of overrides. Same, the data are there. If you made your dashboarding, then you're gonna catch what's going on with the overrides, where they are, talking about mapping also, etc., etc. An interactive tool for analyzing soccer match data. You may visit Plotly website for more examples. Okay, just if you go to the website, you're gonna find so many examples. Now, of course, we're going to have like a simple data using avocado database. It's in Kaggle. Oh, I'm gonna share it with you. By the way, you don't have to download it because already I got it. Okay, so I'm gonna share this data with everybody. Also, we're going to have more examples in the assignment, so you don't have to worry about that. All right. So, you don't need advanced knowledge of web development to follow this tutorial, but some familiarity with HTML and CSS won't hurt. Though, through my experience with HTML and CSS, it's not something really that is hard. It's just like you have to remember what's a heading. Now there is a lot of type of heading. H1, H1, like there is a levels of heading. H1, H2, H3, and H4 depends on how many titles or how many heading you want to do. There is like how to make a section, but in HTML this is called division. Um, um, and like how to write a paragraph. It's a simple way to make a web page, design it, and then make some decoration. That's CSS. It's gonna allow you like to change the type of your text, etc., etc. Now, what I said doesn't mean that you have to get this knowledge. You're fine, okay? I'm gonna show you an example later in the lecture. You should know the basics of the following topics though. Python graphing libraries such as Matplotlib, and there is another important library that we're going to have in classwork. It is called Bokeh, and also the Seaborn library, as you know, and also how to make a mapping. I just want to give you the details. HTML and the structure of an HTML file. Our HTML file, it's simply, uh, you can write it though in a like a notebook file, and but like the extension is .html. Okay. Oh yeah, and CSS to style your web page. Okay. All right. Let's move forward. Now, how to build a Dash application. For development purposes, it's useful to think of the process of building a Dash application in three steps. Define the content of your application using the app's layout. So what does it mean? Now let's pick in an application in your phone. Okay, it has a design, right? For example, on the top there is a timing, and then there is a graph in the middle, and then on the left side there is like some options. If you want to go to the prices, depends. Just think about Amazon or any other app. This is called the app's layout. But in data science projects, you would have like a heading, you would have a paragraph talking a little bit about what's going on, you would have some graphs within the different titles, you would have in the graphs itself some interactions, so some sliders, some drop down, um, what else? Yeah, you would have a timing. You would have maps, like showing the data within, let's say, different. Let's say that you are working on the sales or something draw. So when you want to figure out how the sales are draw different states, etc., etc. Okay, and then another paragraph that make a conclusion or that shows what's going on the data. Uh, okay, style or looks of your app with CSS or styled components. What does it mean? It means simply changing colors, make a bold text, make a Italian text, change do we are we going to make the paragraph in a large size or small size, etc., etc. Use a callbacks. I wanna callbacks because all these words are important to determine which parts of your app are interactive and what they react to. Or let's say that you are doing mapping to Uber riders. Okay. Now, if when you move the mouse, it should show some interactions. Okay. Let's say that you are doing data, for example, in a Walmart, and while the shopper are doing sorry the shoppers are doing sales, then they should be kind of slider on your histogram, for example, etc., etc. Well, hopefully that makes sense. And there is other types of interactions that I could not remember right now, but we're gonna do them because, as you know, in this lecture is going we're going to do dash. I mean, in week 3 is we're going to do dash. So at least you have to understand like the main techniques that you have to do, and the next week we're gonna go through advanced stuff in dash, okay, or in make yeah like using dash and making some dashboarding through data sets. All right. Okay, let's get started. As you know, in your Jupyter book, make sure to appear to install dash. It's pip install dash. It would not have hurt. It's easy, just like you install any other library that has been done in the past. And then we're going to use a pandas as PD just in case we need a data set. Of course, we're gonna need a data set, so pandas, it's obvious. From that library, we're going to import dash, DCC, and HTML. You might be curious about why these three classes. Is simply dash is going to initialize your app. It's gonna tell the compiler that we're going to make a dashboard. So we need to, or we're going to make an app. So we're gonna make sure to use this class to create our app. Okay. Now, what does mean DCC? DCC allows you to create interactive component such as graph dash core components. Okay. Now this is a web page. Okay. When we say the web page, automatically it comes in mind something called HTML. Okay. And how do we create web page using HTML? And it's gonna allow us to access to the tags. So, like for example, if I want to make a paragraph, then I have to recall the tag of paragraph because If you don't have an experience with HTML before, it's fine. But however, everything done using HTML is done with something called tags. The tag of heading, the tag of paragraph, the tag of section, the tag of like a dots, when you want to talk about steps, draw your project or something like that. So we have, this is called dash HTML components. But yeah, I wanna make sure that you understand first the steps of the libraries. So it's the both dots that you can see on screen. That's step number one. Okay. Now, how to initialize your dash application. As I said, because we're going to make you know an app or web page, whatever you want to call it. Here are the steps to build your first dash application. Now, app equals dash name, create an instance from dash class. You can do it just like you saw here. As you can do it, that's the first way. And you can also do it like this app. Now here we got the creation of our dashboarding, but what it has, I don't know. We're gonna figure out actually. Now, next step, you need to define the layout property of your application. You can see the dash HTML components in practice. So, like for example, let's say that you wanna do heading. Heading, it's a H1. There's also, like I said, H2, H3, and H4. It depends on the level of your heading, because as you know, sometimes we got a large heading and then like a smallest one, etc., etc. That's mainly what does mean. From HTML class, for example, we need to make a section that, for example, let's say that we got a data set about the newborn. Then we're going to talk a little bit about where this data set come from, what's the intention of your project, how you're going to describe that, like how many graphs do we need, etc., etc. uh, and then like html.p, this is like paragraph and its children. Now, following, when you finish, create the app, define the content of your app using HTML. Um, After that, of course, we're going to run our code, because otherwise it would not be done. How you gonna do that? It just the instruction, if name equals main, the main function, then app run server, and then debug equal tree, just to avoid any errors, like to force the compiler to display our web page. Okay. This is a way that code, it's simply, it's not hard or something. It's just gonna allow us to see our web page. Okay. All right. Now, these components are equivalent to dev h1 and p paragraph HTML tags. You can use the components arguments to modify attributes or the content of the tags, for example, to specify what goes inside the div tag. You use the children argument in HTML, that div, uh, right? Now, I'm pretty sure you have a question. How can we use that? Like how we're actually, we need an example, right? Um, all right. Now, here is an example defining the layout of your dash. I'm gonna go through each step. The first line, we are just importing the dash library, and then from dash, of course, we need to import the HTML. Okay, that for the creation of our web page. And also, when we import HTML, then of course you can use all the techniques in CSS. Now, from dash, you're gonna import the DCC, okay, the dash core components, okay. After that, um, and I just want to let you know DCC is gonna allow us to make some interactions on our graph, okay. After the creation of our of our app, and then the app dot layout, like we're gonna recall the HTML stuff, okay. When you do app dot layout, this is means that we're going to use the ingredients, let me say like that, HTML dot HTML. So now HTML.dev, this is like, let me say, this is like the first section, okay. And then what are the children, like what is the head of our division or our section, okay. Is going of course to be the head, and then here I just said hello dash, okay. So hello dash. After that, the other children, comma, make sure to do comma, is going, just I made it simple because I want you to understand what does it mean. Now it's going to be HTML.p, which is that or data product development framework work from Plotly, because Plotly released Dash for free, so anyone can use Dash without non problem. Okay, that was good. After the heading, it's the paragraph. Now, of course, we're done. Okay, we got the children of our division, and we're fine. What I want to say here. Um, right now, uh, the design of our app is going to be the heading and the paragraph. Okay, this is how we're gonna design that. But of course, we need to run our code. Make sure to add the last line, which is if name equals main, app that run server, okay. And then it's gonna pop up for you what you can see on the bottom, hello dash dash or data product development framework from Plotly. You can add more paragraphs if you want, just make sure to add another comma right here. If you can see the mouse, pretty sure you can see it, and do HTML that paragraph within, write your name or the name of our course or whatever. All right. Now you might have the question, that's the simple way. I want everyone to, at least before coming in class, before doing the assignment, to try this example and run it. Okay, and let me know if you got any issues with that, because this is important. After that, you can make your design, make your style. You can change that. I want everybody also to go through a little bit HTML. It's easy. It's not harder than programming or something. It's really easy. It's like you type a simple document. It just, instead of typing straight away, it's gonna be kind of tags. So heading tag, paragraph tag, etc., etc. Now, um, I want to let you know, imagine that you are typing an HTML page without Python, okay? Because I want you to see the difference. At that time, it's no worries. It's gonna be on Note text uh, file, and after that, you're gonna do it. You're gonna write your division. Now each tag has a beginning and end. You're gonna write your head or title. It's gonna be each tag h1 and end up with h1 again with the within a backslash, and also a paragraph. And a paragraph has beginning also and end, and also what's going on right here. You can do that. Just make sure to do the extension .html and close the file. When you close the file and you click on it, it's gonna open it through the browser. Okay, I want you also to look at some CSS styling, like how to style your web page. If you wanna change, for example, the color of the heading, or uh, like the paragraph would be in Italian style or something like that. So yeah, just do it. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go through a project, and like I said, we're gonna use a data set called avocado, like the price of avocado through United States. I'm gonna share with you this data set. I want you to check out each attribute of the data set. But this data set, it has the type as a attribute, the region as another attribute, there's also the date, and here we got a certain just the data set when the type is conventional and the region is Albany. It's like we minimize our data, and after that we can change that, of course, and assign it would add another column within the date, but in the format year, month, and day. Okay, and after that it's gonna sort the values, like sort the data within like in the date way. Okay, now of course when you finish, because we're going to make a dashboarding, that this is means what we're gonna create an instance from our dash class. Okay, now it would be app equals dash and then underscore twice name and then another underscore twice. Okay, step number one. Step number two, we are interested right now to see some graphs. Okay, remember that we have DCC, which is special for doing graphs. Okay, now let me walk you through. It's a web page. Okay, now HTML.div. I'm gonna make sure to make a division, and my section or my division would have a heading, would have a paragraph. The heading is avocado analytics. Okay, the paragraph is going to be analyzing the behavior of avocado prices and the number of avocados sold in the US between 2015 and 2018. Okay, now this you see that graph is going to be the data. Uh, okay, and remember that we got the data right here. I want to make sure we got our data here. So, all right. So right now for the data, we're gonna have two figures. Now, X would be data of the date and then the average prices. And remember that the date are sorted, okay? And then the type, like what type? It's a line chart. So you have to, if it is line, you have to say it's lines, okay? Now the layout, which means the title, is going to be the average price of the avocado. That's the first graph, okay? I want to make sure that you got it. For the second graph, I'm sorry, again it's data. X is going to be date and Y is going to be the total volume, and the type is going again lines. It's a chart line or line chart. And then the layout is going to be the title, avocado, sold. Okay? Now, when we finish, or actually when you finish, uh, make sure to add, oh, I didn't do it, but you have to add, you remember the line that I told you that gonna make the server works. I can scroll up a little bit so you can see it. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yes, it's right here. So if name equals, it's something classic. You have to do it. Otherwise, if you run the code, it would not show you anything. Okay. Now let me show you the dashboarding when you finish that. You got the title on the top, you got the paragraph, you got the first, the first graph, nicely within the name, etc., etc., within the title, etc. You got the second graph within the line chart, within the title, etc. So etc. etc. Just like I told you, you can style your web page. You can do whatever you want. Okay, and then I hope at least do the first one, because that one I'm gonna do it with you in class. Like I'm gonna walk you through because it's a little bit difficult. So we're gonna make sure that the code doesn't have any issues, etc., etc. Now, um, if you have any question, of course, let me know. Hope you install Plotly, or actually Dash. It's not Plotly because Plotly is a different. And I just wanna thank you to follow our lecture for today, and see you next week.